So if you're against animal cruelty, you already believe in being vegan. Veganism is a stand against animal cruelty. So if you understand that it's wrong to abuse animals, you need to go vegan. And you shouldn't hesitate. It's never been easier to be vegan. And it's literally the best thing you can do to help save the planet. And it's the best thing you can do for your own health, especially if you're sticking to a mostly whole foods, plant-based diet. It really makes no sense for people to not be vegan. You're literally eating dead animals. I mean, people call it meat, but what it really is dead animals. You're eating dead animals. It's kind of creepy. Dead animal body parts in the refrigerators of meat eaters. Kind of creepy when you really think of it. Animal agriculture is the most brutal industry that has ever existed, and it is the most environmentally destructive industry that has ever existed. It is the leading cause of deforestation, species extinction, water pollution, water depletion, ocean dead zones, pandemics, world hunger, and climate change. It literally makes no sense why this disgusting industry is not banned. It really should be banned. There is no good that comes from the animal agriculture industry. I mean, just imagine working at a slaughterhouse. Like if that was your job, to work at a slaughterhouse, killing animals all day, every day, one by one by one by one, hundreds of them, thousands of them each and every day. I don't think most people would be able to do that. But you should have to do that. If you think it's okay to kill animals, to eat them, then you should have to kill the animals yourself. Yeah, it's not an opinion that animals are being tortured and killed. It's a fact that animals are being tortured and killed. This is how sows are kept in the pork industry. The mother pigs kept in these gestation crates. And then when they give birth, they're moved to a farrowing crate, which confines them just about as much where they can barely move. And they send these sows to slaughter when they can no longer produce healthy litters of piglets. Their babies are taken from them. They're forced to live in overcrowded, excrement-filled industrial sheds for 6 months before they're forced into a slaughterhouse and hacked to pieces. It's not just like one bad day at a slaughterhouse. Their whole brief existence on this planet is pure misery. And, you know, this is an image here of cattle on a transport truck being shipped to the slaughterhouse. So, yeah, the whole journey is a living hell for these animals. They know no peace, no comfort. No, animal agriculture needs to be banned. It is the most environmentally destructive industry that has ever existed, and it by far is the most brutal industry that has ever existed. Each and every single day around the globe, approximately 200 million animals are forced into slaughterhouses as babies to be hacked to pieces for products we don't even need to be consuming, for products that literally increase the risk of heart disease, kidney disease, cerebrovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, many forms of cancer, for products that are literally destroying the planet to produce. Animal agriculture is the leading cause of deforestation, species extinction, water pollution, water depletion, ocean dead zones, and climate change. Every single second of every day, an acre of land is cleared, and it is mainly to graze and grow food for livestock. It takes up to 16 pounds of grains to produce just 1 pound of beef. It takes up to 6 pounds of grains to produce just 1 pound of poultry. A lot of resources are needed to raise all of these ceaseless tens of billions of animals that are needed to keep up with the demand for animal products. Even researchers from Oxford University, just look up Joseph Poor's study, Poore. He and other researchers did an extensive study of over 40,000 farms and concluded that animal agriculture is so environmentally destructive. The best thing to do would be to go vegan if you want to help save the planet. And if the world went vegan, land totaling the size of Africa could be freed up. And that's coming from researchers from Oxford University. Who needs to actually be reported is animal abusers. Yeah, people who are chopping the heads off of animals absolutely are animal abusers. How is it not abusive to chop someone's head off? And think about it. Every single morning, when you get up, if you start your day with bacon and eggs, right there, and a glass of milk, bacon, eggs, and a glass of milk, you're literally having pigs tormented. The mother pigs, the sows, are forced to live in gestation crates where they can barely move. When they give birth, they're moved to farrowing crates, which also confines them so much so that they can barely move. Their babies are taken from them, forced to live in overcrowded, shit-filled sheds for 6 months in such deplorable conditions. They have to be given antibiotics to keep them alive long enough to be slaughtered. Those pigs are slaughtered at 6 months of age. They can live over 10 years. They don't live to see their first birthday. Not even anywhere near seeing their first birthday. They're slaughtered as babies. And yeah, so a lot of people start their day off with bacon and eggs and a glass of milk. So yeah, you're having a little baby pig killed. And in the egg industry, in case you don't know, at the hatcheries where all egg-laying hens come from, they cannot determine the sex of those chicks until after they hatch. So upon hatching, they sort the males and they put them through a macerator, which grinds them up alive. If you would not support an industry that grinds up puppies alive, if you would not support an industry that grinds up kittens alive, why on earth are you supporting the egg industry? And in case you don't know, one egg has twice as much cholesterol as a Big Mac. Since when is it healthy to eat a Big Mac, let alone 2 Big Macs in a row? And for that glass of milk, in case you don't know, dairy cows do not produce milk because they are dairy cows. They produce milk because they are mothers. In the dairy industry, dairy farmers forcibly impregnate dairy cows to get them to start to lactate. If you were to force semen into a woman without her consent, what would you call that? I doubt you would call that artificial insemination. That would actually be a crime. But for some reason, in the animal agriculture industry, they like to spread misinformation and lies. They like to call this artificial insemination, but it's not. It's sexual abuse. They literally masturbate male animals. They do it throughout the industry for pork, for beef, for chicken, for eggs, for dairy products. Even for salmon, they literally force male salmon to ejaculate to steal their semen. But in the case of the female salmon, they do not force the semen into her. What they do with the female salmon is they kill her, cut her open, steal her eggs, take those eggs back to the hatchery, and fertilize them. And that's where you get your salmon. And they're even doing it to bees in the honey industry. They literally press on the abdomen of the male bees to force them to ejaculate and then they restrain the queen bee and they force the semen into her to force her to reproduce. Yeah, it's totally bizarre, totally uncalled for, totally immoral. Should be banned. In the state of Oregon, they are trying to ban animal agriculture. They are trying to ban hunting and fishing. They are trying to ban the artificial insemination process of animals because it is absolutely sexual assault. So yeah, if you live in the state of Oregon, go visit yes on IP13.org, sign the petition, make sure IP13 gets on the ballot in November to ban hunting, ban fishing, ban animal agriculture, ban the artificial insemination process of animals because it's sexual assault. Yeah, it is absolutely crazy what they're doing to animals, like beyond crazy. Yeah, so if you're starting your day with bacon and eggs and a glass of milk, you're literally having baby pigs killed. You're having little male chicks ground up alive because at the hatcheries where all egg-laying hens come from, they cannot determine the sex of those chicks until after they hatch. So upon hatching, they sort the males, they put them through a macerator, which grinds them up alive because they're useless to the egg industry. They do not lay eggs, obviously, because they're males. And they are not the same breed used for meat. They do not grow quick enough or big enough to be profitable for meat. And in the dairy industry, those dairy cows do not automatically produce milk. They have to be pregnant. Dairy farmers masturbate bulls to force them to ejaculate, to steal their semen, to force that semen into those unconsenting female cows, to impregnate them, to get them to start lactating. As soon as they give birth, their babies are taken from them. Some farmers will kill the males right away because the males are completely useless. But typically what happens to the male calves born, like if this is a boy, he will be sent off to the veal industry to be raised for about 3 or 4 months and then slaughtered for veal. Even if these babies are raised for beef cattle, in case you don't know, they are slaughtered at about 12 to 22 months of age. They can live over 20 years, but they're slaughtered at a fraction of their natural lifespan. Even dairy cows, when they can no longer produce enough milk to be profitable, they are sent to slaughter. That typically happens about 5 years of age when, again, they can live over 20 years. So yeah, when you're, eating all of these animal products, I mean, you're contributing to so much cruelty. I mean, having the heads chopped off of animals, how is it not cruel to have an animal's head chopped off? And this is what you're doing all day, every day for like every non-vegan meal you consume. You're having an animal's head chopped off. In the egg industry, you're having newly hatched male chicks ground up alive. It is time to wake up. You cannot claim to be an animal lover if you're not vegan. You're literally paying people to abuse animals in some of the most horrific ways imaginable. That is why I became vegan. Yeah, I was seeing what was happening to these animals, and it was clearly horrific animal cruelty. And I can no longer fund it once I saw what I was literally funding. The grinding up of male chicks alive? No. I'm not ever consuming eggs anymore. The massacring of little newly born male calves. Yeah, no, I'm not consuming dairy products anymore. Having the heads of pigs chopped off as babies to boot. Yeah, because pigs, in case you don't know, they're slaughtered at 6 months of age. They can live over 10 years. Chickens are slaughtered at 6 weeks of age. They can live over 7 years. Even beef cattle are slaughtered between 12 and 22 months of age. They can live over 20 years. So all of these animals being killed for the animal products you consume are killed as babies. I absolutely speak the truth. And what's disgusting is that the dairy industry has literally convinced the entire world that cows produce milk for humans. No, honey, those cows, they produce milk not because they are dairy cows. They produce milk because they are mothers. Yeah, it's pretty disgusting that you've actually tricked people into believing those cows produce milk for humans when those cows produce milk for their babies. But you steal their babies from them. You kill those babies if those babies are boys. How fucking disgusting. Go fuck the fuck off. You're disgusting. You're fucking disgusting, cunt. You fucking cunt.